Hello and a very warm welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be attempting a couple of repairs on my cheap little Porsche Boxster. So I bought this car for £3,000 a couple of weeks ago now, and I tell you what, I absolutely love the fact that despite all the hysteria online about every Boxster having IMS failure, having oil leaks, having Porsche tax on prices, this little car has proven to be, so far at least, very cheap and very cheerful motoring. In that same vein, I think it's only appropriate that any repairs that are needed be carried out in that same cheap and cheerful, budget-friendly way. So today, join me and a couple of my daft mates as we attempt to return this little car back to its former glory. So I should probably explain what it is we're actually doing here. The whole idea is with this Boxster to do things on a bit of a budget. There's no point going out and buying £2,000–3,000 coilovers to put them on what is essentially a £2,000–3,000 car. It just doesn't make sense. So what we're doing instead is we're going to do a bit of an overhaul. So I've got all these bits, new springs, new top mounts, new boots, even new bump stops for the suspension. We're going to put all this on and give it a bit of a refresh on the front end. Problem is, I do think things are going to be quite corroded when we get in there. What do we think, Junior? How hard is this going to be? Get your rating in now.
5 out of 10.
I'm going more 9 out of 10. We'll see. So I'm just getting my predictions in now, but I think this is probably where we're going to become a bit undone. In theory, it's quite easy. Let me show you. So Porsche, very gladly, they fitted these little covers over the top of the suspension towers where we can get in and unbolt it. Now the idea is we should be able to just pull it out in the wheel well, especially given the car's on a ramp here, slide off the old ones and get these on. The problem is these are aluminium and they tend to corrode onto the top of the shocker really, really solidly, and getting them off, I think that's where we're going to have a bit of a problem. But once they're off, we can get our new springs on, new bump stops, everything. So I've got some paint here. No, it's not to do my nails, as Crookie says. It's to put it onto these bolts here because they actually control the camber of the car. So we want to be putting them back on roughly where they've came off. And honestly, this is the best way I can think of. I'm holding up the entire job by doing this. 3 guys waiting. Right, I'm an idiot.
You count the threads.
We've just realised we are actually changing those bolts, so putting paint on them is not going to do much good. I'm an idiot.
It still looks good.
It does look good, thanks. When did you guys realise that and just let me crack on?
I just realised it there when you were doing that. I just didn't want to put it in when you were on the camera.
I said count the threads.
I think we just don't want to upset him. He feels like he's doing a good job here.
He's helping.
He's found something we can do whilst holding the camera. Just let him crack on.
Pretty much.
We are going to need to figure out this horn situation at some point. I don't know if that's the alarm horn or the horn.
Is it the two there and there?
You got another one there?
This is the alarm one right here.
Right, okay. So this one, it doesn't, sometimes it works, doesn't it? It sounds a bit elephanty.
You've got horns down here. So
Yeah, there's,
horns under there.
what's going on with the horns everywhere?
High and low.
Yeah, well, there's neither high nor low happening. I tell you what, while you got that, fire it on the radio as well and figure out why that's not working. Right, boys, you get diagnosing that.
You just do your diag.
I'm just gonna go get the feet up, right, for a while. So, hang on, why do you not need spring compressors on that? Because
These don't have enough pressure.
if you let that go,
Look, I can actually move them.
so you think you'll be able to just whip that off without any spring compressor? Right, if there's a hilarious bit of footage of a spring flying across the place in 2 seconds,
100%.
we know we got it wrong. Oh!
Okay, so it's wiring.
Hey!
We've got the horn.
Should this
We've got the horn.
No, because it's disconnected.
So there's a wiring issue in here.
So we need to find where. Sorted.
You getting a bit of tilt on it?
Yep. There's the pin mount. There you go. Top mounts off and everything. Boom. Perfect. First time, no issues.
Nice. So here is the old top mount. I'm not too sure how well this is going to come across on camera, but you can see, go for it, handsome assistant. And you can see just how much that's, oh geez, it's really moving about, isn't it? That is gonna end up out of there. This is also the bit, this is the bit that I thought was 100% gonna be seized in place, so I'm really happy it isn't. The new one though, if we get the same demo on that.
Absolutely solid.
Solid. Excuse me, sir.
But thanks for that, Junior.
See if you just leave it in that gap and take the top mount off.
From
Usually you have plate, which is still on. So you've got your mounting plate, then you've got your rubber grommet to stop it. Then you've got bearing.
So the bearing's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a taper bearing.
Is it all right? In fact, we shouldn't have we should have got new ones of these, but we don't.
And there you go.
Yeah. How's it feel? Is it all right?
Aye, it's not really gritty. Look.
So there's the old bump stop.
Look, the size difference.
It's done all the bump stop and it's never going to do again.
I'm trying to count. There's 3 in it.
3 at the back, 2 at the front.
See, this is why I thought my paint method would have worked really well.
It would have been excellent had it been the same bolts, yeah.
It would have. Junior, see when we get finished and all buttoned up, I'm going to show you the video that I watched that instilled the fear in me that those top mounts were going to be on. Wait till you see what these guys are doing, trying to get it off. And I must say, this is an absolute rarity. See, having a job that has gone to plan and has actually been easier than you thought it was going to be. I don't think that exists on old corroded cars. So given that job went so well, we're going to try and keep the momentum going here and have a look at the radio, try and determine why the radio doesn't work. Nice. So that's you pumping power directly into it, essentially. You can't buy class, but that's pretty classy. It turned out to be a problem with the radio's wiring. It became clear whoever wired up this aftermarket head unit, they'd never done a job like this before. So by correcting it, we started to get it to function. However, the wiring for the speakers was also wrong.
I'm getting side one, but he's the one.
No, I was still giving it.
Oh!
There we go.
We're getting somewhere.
We're getting somewhere now.
The playing is just absolutely sensational, isn't it?
it's the music it's playing as well.
Hellbilly music, hellbilly wiring.
It was his.
Have you got a wee crimping tool or just pliers? Oh, nice. Get that. Professional.
We're professional in here. Professionally shite.
And there we have it, a couple of jobs well done. Not exactly by me, as you'll be able to tell from the video. Big thanks to the guys for helping us out with that. But that's the front suspension, all totally refreshed, and I've even got a working radio. As always, thank you so much for watching. I think the next video, we're kind of nearing the end of the necessity fixes, the things that need done, so we can get on to some of the more fun stuff. So what do we think? Do we do something with the exhaust next? Thank you so much for watching. Hit subscribe if you want to keep up with it. Hit the like button if you have enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I'll see you for the next one.